T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff. Go Falcon, go Bluebird. Vehicle is pitching downrange. In 1D chamber pressures are nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds into flight, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. We're currently throttling down to prepare for max Q, which is the point of maximum aerodynamic stress on the vehicle. Max Q
and telemetry nominal.
Max Q occurs in the lower atmosphere, where there's still enough air to create significant resistance against the rocket. This is when the pressure pushing against the rocket is at its highest point, and it's
Vehicle is supersonic.
And it's a key test of the vehicle's structural integrity. After max Q, the rocket continues to accelerate, but the air becomes thinner, reducing the stress on the vehicle as it climbs through the upper layers of the atmosphere.
Max Q.
And there's the call out for max Q. Merlin engines are back at full power now that we're out of the throttle bucket. And from here on, even though velocity is rapidly increasing, the atmospheric density is decreasing, resulting in less loads on Falcon 9. Now we have several events coming up in quick succession, starting with MECO, followed by stage separation, and second engine start, or SES-1. Main engine cutoff, or MECO, is where all 9 Merlin 1D engines shut down to slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage separation, where the first stage separates from the second stage. Then the MVAC engine on the second stage will light, which is called out as second engine start 1, or SES-1. This engine burn, lasting several minutes, will propel the second stage and our payloads to orbit. After that, the fairing will jettison from the second stage, as it's no longer needed to protect the payloads once we're in space. We should be hearing the first of these callouts in just about 10 seconds from now.
Main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC startup.
And we had confirmation of those 3 events that happened back to back: main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine start 1. Coming up next will be fairing separation. Again, we jettison the payload fairing halves now that they're no longer needed in the vacuum of space, and we'll attempt to retrieve them once they fall back to Earth.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And there we just heard confirmation of fairing separation. They'll make their way back to Earth for recovery.
Stage 2 FDS is saved.
Stage 1 landing burn.
There's the call out for the landing burn startup on the Falcon 9 first stage. Again, this is the final burn that this booster will execute leading up to landing.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy. MVAC shutdown. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
As you saw and heard, that was a successful
Nominal orbit insertion.
first stage landing of our Falcon 9 booster. As a reminder, this booster flew for its 29th time. And now while the booster has completed its part of the mission, our first of 3 payload deployments is expected at T plus 53 minutes. And before that, the MVAC engine on the second stage will execute a second burn starting at T plus 46 minutes. And we just heard earlier the call out for the shutdown of the MVAC engine on the second stage, which was the completion of the first of those 2 burns.
MVAC startup.
And there's confirmation of the second MVAC burn. This burn will last
MVAC shutdown.
just 6 seconds. And there was confirmation of MVAC shutdown.
Nominal orbit insertion.
All right, and there was confirmation of good orbit. So our next milestone is the beginning of payload deploy. That is coming up at T plus 53 minutes and 43 seconds. So we're about 10 seconds away from the first payload deploy. And these satellites are part of AST SpaceMobile's next generation constellation.
Bluebird, Block 2, BB9, separation confirmed.
And here's our first views of the payload adapter. And with confirmation of the second deployment, that leaves us with one final payload deployment to close out today's mission. And that's coming up at T plus 1 hour and 4 minutes. So
Bluebird, Block 2, BB8, separation confirmed. All payloads successfully confirmed.
And there we have the final Bluebird satellite for today's mission, separating from the second stage. And that'll bring us to the end of our live mission coverage.